Welcome back for another video. FPL's finally back and it's the last video before Gameweek 32. Don't forget it's a Friday deadline this week. What are the top all-time managers doing this week though? It's a wildcard special video this week. There's a huge number activated, so we're going to break that all down. Plus we'll also look at the opposite strategy if you don't wildcard, who the best players to buy are and all those good things. Andrew Moore sits top of the Experts League after scoring 63 points before the break. That took him to 266th in the world. So just doing a quick rank check then. We've got 16 experts that are in the top 10k now, and there's 39 in the top 50k as well. So there's an amazing ranks at this point, and we're still heading into actual chip strategy season. So we should see more rank climbs over the next few weeks. What is the best chip strategy though? This week, 24% are going to roll, 21% making one transfer, 9% making two, and one manager is making 4 transfers. And there's a huge 45% of the top all-time managers on an active wildcard this week. That all said, it's actually very split, which is very interesting. 45% have got the wildcard active, but 41% are saving it for later. So the question is, who are they buying, who are they selling? It's a two-way tie at the top, but it's Tavernier and Palmer the most bought, with 41% buying their two midfielders. And this is the awkward thing with Wildcard 32. There's some horrendous fixtures this week. Like Tavernier's away against Arsenal and he's the most bought. Palmer's got Man City home. Leeds have got Man United away as well, so that's not ideal for starting any of their players, honestly. Leeds have got arguably the strongest double though. It starts with Wolves home and then it's Bournemouth away, which does lend some weight to having at least one defensive asset. 3.9 mil Darlow has started every league game since Gameweek 22, so he's perfect for the bench boost. One surprise last game, it was Krupi taking Bournemouth's penalty against Man United, rather than Tavernier, who was the expected taker. It might not be as bad as it looks though. Krupi isn't on the pitch nearly as often, and Iriola did suggest that they'll share duties still, so Tavernier remains a great pick. He said the following: "No, at the end, both were in charge, and you know Tav and Krupi, when we've had penalties before, I think the last two, Tav decided to shoot it, and this was of course Krupi. I think Krupi is a bigger specialist, and you know, even in training, I can see he's a great finisher and he doesn't get nervous. I think it's a lovely finish, and we'll see now if we have more. I hope we have more penalties so we can discuss it and take decisions, but I think Tav and Krupi have dealt really well, not only with this one, but the last ones we've had. Calvert-Lewin, another penalty taker as well, and he's available for cheap, only 5.6 mil. The other side of the blank, Leeds have got Burnley home as well in Gameweek 35, so he's actually a pretty handy pick all round. Leeds don't have any majorly difficult fixtures remaining. Double Gameweek 33, and then it's Burnley home, and then it's Spurs, Brighton, West Ham, and that's it. Ekitike is the most sold this week. Big question mark over his minutes next game week, given he did start last weekend in the Cup, and he started against PSG in the Champions League, playing 78 minutes, plus the second leg of the Champions League is next week, so does he start against Fulham? Salah and Gakpo were named on the bench, so perhaps they both come into the 11, maybe in place of Ekitike, maybe not, since the league is very important as well. Other top sold players are Wilson, Enzo, and Mbumo, Rogers, Raya and Rice. Lots of experts buying Palmer, as I say, and also João Pedro, but also lots actually selling them, which does show the disparity in chip strategies. For those that are free hitting in Gameweek 33, then there's actually good scope to sell Chelsea players this week, because outside of the free hit, it's Man City this week and then it's a blank after that, and therefore the likes of Cunha, Bowen, Gordon, maybe even Salah look fine as picks for Gameweek 32 and 34 specifically, before wildcarding in 35. If you're looking for a mega differential, one player to underline going under the radar is Mitoma, with Burnley this game week as well. The worst team for XGC, big chances conceded, goals conceded, first choice left winger. He has had a poor season by his standards. Herzl absolutely loves him, he's back from injury and he's got a strong chance of starting every game for the rest of the season if his fitness is on point. Gross is also a great pick in the Brighton midfield. They're two to consider, especially if Stack is out or if he's a big doubt for this week after going off injured in the FA Cup. So, a quick look at chip usage. 45% are wildcarding, 15% have used it already, 40% are saving it. So, it really is split in terms of best chip strategy, and it does very much depend on your setup as well. You know, if you're looking at your team for Gameweek 32 and it's a really strong team, then there really is no urgency to use it. You could ultimately be selling some big returns in your team. Whereas if you've got some unfavourable fixtures as it is, and maybe missing some big hitters like Haaland, you might find it makes more sense. Obviously, like when we say you might want to wildcard because you've got some bad fixtures in your team this week, The Gameweek 32 wildcard literally does bring in players with dodgy fixtures as well, so it's basically a like-for-like trade, but you're at least very well set up for double Gameweek 33, if that makes sense. There is also one bench boost active this week as well. It was Jay who activated it, and he's on a free hit 33 strategy, and he said the following: I have all my chips and I'm running out of time to play them. With these 4 transfers, I'll have 13 out of 15 strong home fixtures this week for bench boost 32, and 10 out of 11 strong home fixtures in Gameweek 34 after free hit 33. I'm hoping to make gains this week on those that are on the Wildcard 32, bench boost 33 and free hit 34 strategy, as I'm not really feeling the Gameweek 33 doubles. The intention is to then Wildcard 35 to maximise doubles and use any other available information. I'll then triple captain in 36 and use any remaining transfers in 37 and 38 on teams with something to play for. I'm happy to have an alternative chip strategy to the masses, and with a current rank of 154k, it will hopefully be a rank booster. So Ollie, or Bow and Arrow, has activated his wildcard. He's got some fantastic ranks over the last few years: 4k, 25k, 17k, 67k, and then 3.7k. And his wildcard team is as follows: Verbruggen, O'Reilly, Senesi, Hill, Van Heck, Bruno, and Bumo, Semenyo, Palmer and João Pedro, and on the bench he's got Darlow, Calvert-Lewin, Tavernier and Strug. He shared some quick thoughts as well. He said the following: the main reasons for the Wildcard 32 is of course to set up for hopefully a big bench boost in Gameweek 33. Key to this will be the Leeds players in my opinion, nice and cheap with 2 good fixtures in Gameweek 33 plus a nice home fixture to Burnley after the free hit in 34. Plan would be to sell Mbumo to another Chelsea mid in Gameweek 33 to give me 14 doublers plus Bruno. The main drawback to this is of course no Arsenal, but I'd plan on buying at least Gabriel back in Gameweek 35. Personally, I don't see Palace players as a necessity for their double in 36, with one of those games being against City and a potential latter stage of the Conference League to focus on. The other drawback is starting double Bournemouth defence this week at Arsenal. However, they're both good for DEFCON, and Arsenal haven't been free scoring as of late, so hoping to get lucky there. There were absolutely loads of thoughts on the wildcard this week. Some are in favour, some weren't, so I think it's probably worth including some other quotes from top all-time managers. So just a few here. Milky Way said, with all remaining chips left, wildcard 32 makes sense to avoid using a triple captain in a single game week. Not the most inspiring of weeks to wildcard, with the fixtures not lining up very well for Gameweek 32. If you've already used your triple captain and your team is relatively well set up for Gameweek 34, delaying the wildcard is a very viable strategy given the Arsenal loss to Southampton in the FA Cup. FPL Banger said, wildcard 32 isn't a trap. The real trap is choosing to keep Liverpool players for yet another tricky game, sandwiched between 2 UCL ties, and Arsenal players who are running on fumes, while Brighton smash Burnley and Man City dominate Chelsea. And lastly, Sticky FPL said, like many, I've been waiting all break to see how the doubles and blanks fall before planning my end of season strategy. Now that they have, I'm set to go free hit 33, wildcard 35, bench boost 36. I can easily put out a decent squad in blank Gameweek 34, and I like the fixtures from my current players in Gameweek 32. I would expect to lose some ground in Gameweek 33 to the bench boosters, but I'm figuring that my squad should be in a better position for the surrounding weeks, in particular after the wildcard in Gameweek 35, when I'll be able to best prepare for the final double game week and the teams with the best run-in or something to play for. Key to my approach is taking that holistic view for all remaining weeks rather than going all in based on just one chip. So let's move on to Gameweek 32 captaincy. We'll make this a quick one, 10 seconds or so, as it is Bruno with a 98% captaincy and Haaland just has the 2 captaincies. It's lead time for Bruno, Chelsea away for Haaland. Now obviously Chelsea with Chalobah and James both out are big misses defensively, which could benefit Haaland of course, and he'll be feeling confident after that hat-trick against Liverpool. So let's move on to the experts team for Gameweek 32. With all those transfers factored in, the team is a 3-4-3 this week, and it's for Verbruggen, Gabriel, Senesi, Van Dijk, Bruno, Wilson, Semenyo, Dango, Thiago, Haaland and João Pedro. And on the bench it's Dubravka, Hill, Anderson and Tavernier. Obviously what we're looking at here is a mixture of multiple chip strategies, wildcard this week or wildcard later, and a small percent haven't used it already as well. So it's not so much a logical team this week, unless perhaps you're in the camp of having already wildcarded. It's got 8 players that double in 33, it's got 7 that will play in 34. For most teams, this is a week to commit to a chip strategy one way or another. Don't sit on the fence. Next week will be the double Gameweek 32 special with free hits and bench boost active, so make sure you subscribe for that. Finishing up with final thoughts and tips, here's what the top all-time managers wanted to say to you. FPL Vert says, once football returns after the March international break, it means we're into the home straight for the season, which means it's crunch time for club managers and FPL managers. Arsenal losing to Southampton in the FA Cup once again displayed the importance of waiting for more information, because the Gunners no longer doubling in Gameweek 33, as many would have assumed when that draw was made. Now it means a bench boost in Gameweek 33 doesn't look half as enticing. Least of not when the doubling in Gameweek 33 of poor Gameweek 32 fixtures for the most part. Due to this, I've shelved all ideas of a Gameweek 32 wildcard, as I can't justify ripping up my team that looks fine for the blank in Gameweek 34. I always remember in 22-23 when a lot of FPL managers wildcarded just before the Liverpool 7-0 Man United games, where the likes of Salah and Trent hauled but were mass sold by wildcarders. It's always vitally important to weigh up the players that you're selling, even more so on a wildcard. We'll be shipping Ekitike off for sure, I believe though. I'm tired of his form and Isak is back now, as well as Liverpool balancing a key Champions League quarter-final against the reigning European champions PSG. It's between Bowen and Wildcard to replace. And lastly, Alex Mason says, it's been a journey of ups and downs, but here we are, the final stretch of the FPL marathon. All of us on a mission to chase those green arrows and smash our PBs. It's a sprint finish from here on in, so whatever shape you're currently in, get your strategies set up on navigating the doubles and the blanks to maximise your remaining chips. Good luck everyone. Thanks very much for watching. I'll be live on Friday evening for the deadline stream and deciding whether to wildcard myself. See you then.